Hello, this is Graceful Solutions, and this is going to be a quick one. In today's video, I'll be showing you how I was able to achieve this Happy New Month flyer right in Photoshop. So if you're ready, let's head straight into the video. So the first thing I'm going to do is to bring in my gradient layer, which is this very one right here, which is this very layer that's selected. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to hold my Alt key on my Windows PC to duplicate, click and drag it into my work area. Then the next thing I did right here was to bring in this other layer. Okay, so I'm going to bring in this other background, which is this very one. Okay, so I'm going to click and drag it into the canvas like so, and I ensure that it fills up the space. Then next up, I'm going to go to my blending options right here, go to where I have normal, and then select just to give it that blending. So I think screen, so you can either go for a lighting or screen. I think I'll go with the screen. Then I can adjust it to fill up the space, something like so. Alright, so next up, I'm going to group this as my background. So I'm going to rename this as background. Okay, next up, cool. So next up, I'm going to bring in my image, which is this very one right here. And by the way, this is the original image. Okay, so what I did was I had to remove the background from this image. So if you're using Photoshop 2020 and above, there's a cool way to remove background. Just go to where you have your properties layer right here and go to remove background, and Photoshop AI will just do the rest for you. So just give it a few seconds. Alright, so as you can see here, the background has been completely removed, so you can just click and drag it into your work area. Alright, so since I already have it here, what I'm just going to do is, once again, I'm going to duplicate this and bring it into the other artboard. Okay, as you can see right here, this is cool. So next up, I'm going to bring in next up I'm going to bring in my logo. Alright, so this is my logo right here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to press Ctrl J to duplicate this. Right, then I'm going to click this and drag it right here into my the other artboard, which is the tutorial artboard. So as you can see right here, okay, our logo has been successfully imported. Now next up, I'm going to, okay, let's see what next. Okay, I'm going to add the text. Okay, this is the text. Okay, the welcome to right here. So this is what is duplicated, and this is what is on this other artboard. So I'm just going to duplicate it once again by pressing Ctrl J, and then I'm going to drag it. Okay, I'm going to Ctrl J to duplicate and bring it into my other artboard like so. And next up, I'm going to bring in the month, type in the word September. Alright, so which is here. Okay, this is it. So this is the okay, this is the word September. So I'm going to type it into this very artboard here. So I'm going to take my text by pressing the letter T on the keyboard and just type the word September. Alright, so I'm using the font gang item. Okay, I'll leave a link to this font in the description box. Okay, I'm going to just extend it, make it bigger. So as you can see right here, this very design right here has some effect on the text. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the layer options right here. This is where I have it. So I'm going to open it, and now as you can see right here, I have the emboss, I have the outer glow and the drop shadow on this very text. So I'm just going to copy and paste this text on my other design here. So to do that, I just right click and I go to where I have copy layer style. Okay, so but let me just show you how to achieve that. Okay, so go to your right click and go to your blending options. Right, so as you can see right here, I have my emboss, so you can just follow the settings. Alright, so just follow the settings. This is the setting for the emboss. Okay, depth, size, soften. Then I have outer glow activated. This is the color I use for the outer glow. Okay, this is color code F77B36. And then just follow these settings. Same for the drop shadow, just follow the settings for the drop shadow. Opacity 90, distance 5, spread 31, size 5. Alright, so I just go to the text layer and go to where I have copy layer style and I go to this original design, this other artboard here, and then I right click and I select paste. So as you can see, we have successfully applied the same effect on this other design right here. Alright, so next up I'm going to add a little bit of effect, yet another effect on this particular text. Now I'm going to drag in this image and bring it into my work area, which is the other canvas, and I'm going to ensure it's right above the text layer for this September. So what I'm going to do right here is that I'm going to clip this image to the text. So I'm going to right click on this image and go to where I have create clipping mask. So as you can see right here, we have this cool sort of effect on this particular text. So what I can do now is that I can just rotate this just to give it sort of just add a little bit of effect. So I can rotate this image. Alright, so as you can see, you can just rotate it to whatever angle you want, okay, to give it the effects that's cool with you. I'm going to bring in now I'm going to bring in this effect. Okay, now as you can see, there's this happy new month text on this very image, so I'm going to duplicate that on this very one. So how we're going to achieve that is pretty simple. So I go to my text, my shape tool right here, and I go for a rectangle, and then I come here and draw the rectangle here. Alright, and I'm going to give it a feel of blue. So I'm going to take the blue from the logo. Alright, so I'm going to click on this, then I go to pick my color picker tool, go to here, and then click OK to give that deep blue color. So, and then I'm going to go for the stroke. Right, I'm going to give it a touch of orange. So I take my color picker tool once again, take the orange from here, and then okay, increase the size, okay, something like so. Yes, something like this. Okay, just make it that. Then let me give it a lighter shade of orange so that it will be very visible a bit. So next up, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to, okay, let me drop my shape tool. So I'm going to click Ctrl T to transform this, and then I'm going to right click and go to where I have free transform. And then I click again and I go to where I have skew. So I'm going to hold my shift key and then bring this in, just take from the edges, take it inwards a bit, and then bring this inward a bit, or Ctrl Z. Okay, so I'm going to drop my tool by clicking this check mark. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to type the word happy new month. So I'm going to bring it right into the shape. I'm just going to resize it, minimize it, something like so. The next up, I'm going to transform this by pressing Ctrl T on my keyboard, and then I right click and I go to skew once again. Then I can take this up, and so next up I'm going to just brush off the background a bit. Okay, so I'm going to go to my layer right here where I have my background image. Now on this very one, okay, this very where I have this image right here, this gradient, this design rather, I'm going to give it a layer mask, and then press the letter B on the keyboard to take my brush tool. Now ensure that your foreground color is set to black and the background color is set to white. Then I'm just going to gradually just brush off a bit of this image so that it won't conflict with our text. Alright, just brush it off just slightly. Alright, this is cool. And then what next is that I'm going to bring in my I'm going to add some kind of glow to okay, as you can see right here, this other design had some sort of glow on the hair of the model right here. So I'm going to duplicate this effect. So what I'm going to do is just to okay, take my color from my color palette here, click this and select the orange on the dress of the model, and then take my brush tool by pressing B on the keyboard. Then I go to ensure that the other artboard is active, which is the one that we're working on. Okay, it's active. Then I create a new layer by pressing this plus icon here, and then I go to my brush tool, pressing the letter B. Now ensure that the color is the color we chose earlier, which is this orange, but I want a bit of a lighter orange. Okay, so I can just, yes, I think this is cool. So I'm just going to click this on just right here. Let me reduce my brush a bit. Then I'm going to click this. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to take okay, let me rename this as light. So I'm just going to bring it right here down to just above the model image, or the model layer right here, and then I'm going to go to my blending options, change this to maybe a screen. Yes, perfect, screen. Alright, then I can, so I also want to add some glow to the word September. Alright, so I'm just going to duplicate this by pressing Alt, click and drag this. Okay, but however, I want the glow. Okay, let me just make a fresh glow. I want the glow on the September to be of a bit of white. So once again, I'm going to create a new layer, and then I'm going to swap this. Okay, so I'm going to ensure that my foreground color is set to white, and then I take my brush tool by pressing letter B on the keyboard, and then I come here and press this, and then duplicate this, pressing Ctrl J, and I click this. Alright, so I can now also change the blending options to screen or overlay, depends on what suits me, or whatever you want to. So voila, our Happy New Month flyer is ready.